Hi everyone, I'm Oksan, the designer of OpenPlan. It's such a great opportunity for me to meet you all. It's the first day of designer residency, the prelude to Helsinkipä션위크 2020, and I'm very pleased and honored to be part of it. Today, I will talk about OpenPlan. I'd like to share two important parts through this talk. First, I will introduce our values and practices pursuing sustainable fashion. And the second part, I'd like to talk about our experiences and concerns in preparing for this Helsinkipä션위크, especially about digital transformation. This whole session will take about 20 minutes. All right, I will start my session with screen sharing. Well, let me start with a question that I've always asked by people. What is the most important value of sustainability pursued by OpenPlan? Before I give you my answer, I'd like to ask you first. What does sustainability mean to you? I'm sure you might have your own way to explain it, and I think I also have my own way 40 years ago. I found this 3-year-old Oksan. She, in the picture, likely to answer to this question easily. I guess she was on her way to cultivate the soul after rain stopped. Wouldn't sustainable fashion be a good friend to everything around us? As an adult who became a fashion designer, I would like to say that sustainable fashion is about maintaining life on this planet and the ecosystems required to support it. During the whole life cycle of clothing, from growing materials, manufacturing, design, production, distribution, promotion, use, and to disposal. We can have to minimize the environmental social impact that can occur during every stage. Let's go back to our first question. What is the most important value of sustainability pursued by OpenPlan? There are 4 key factors. Plastic-free, vegan, healthy society, and solidarity. Our first value is plastic-free. This is because plastic destroys the natural ecosystem and disrupts the natural order of all living creatures on Earth. In last month, June, BBC reported a recent research in a university in Italy found microplastics in fruits and vegetables. It is well known that more than 1/3 of the microplastic issue is derived from textile products. So we strictly restrict the use of plastic in the design process. We try not to use synthetic fibers such as polyester and nylon, neither plastic zippers nor plastic buttons. With these efforts, we could have reached 98% of plastic-free for our 2020 collections. Along with this value, plastic-free, being vegan is our other important value. A vegan is a person who doesn't eat or use animal ingredients. Last winter, I told my family and friends that I was vegan, and I could join this wonderful life, even though it was some late. Sorry for being off the topic for a while. Back to OpenPlan's values for vegan. We are using vegan materials for our design, not only animal leather, fur, and byproducts, but also wool and silk are prohibited. Furthermore, any animal materials such as shell, horn, and ivory are not used at all. Why we value vegan? It is because we believe being vegan is one of the most active answer to the climate crisis problem. In modern society, most of the ways we treat animals are in the form of a factory farm. If we think of its conditions, it can be very harmful to human health before thinking about animals' rights or their welfare. In addition, the problems of carbon footprint and deforestation that are generated to maintain these industries are the ones that goes against this time, when we are strongly required to find a solution to the climate crisis. So, the materials that for these values are natural and regenerated fibers such as tencel, organic cotton, and linen. We sometimes use recycled fibers or dead stock as well, but we are trying to design in our value of a plastic-free and vegan. And we use corrosion nut button for our design. It is called vegetable ivory because it has a similar texture to real ivory. Unlike poor elephants who have been killed by its ivory, this nut button gets hard to make buttons only after ripening and falling to the ground, so we can get resources without cutting down trees for a long time. And for finishing and packaging, we try to practice these values as well. We replaced our main label on the neck with linen tape, the strap used to hang price tag with natural fiber, and we use biodegradable bags for delivery to customers. Also carefully use stickers and tapes for easy recycling after the use. In addition to the materials we used, we tried to reduce the impact of the manufacturing process to reduce problems such as water pollution and chemical use during the dyeing process of materials. We use plant dyeing materials, got certified, and designed with non-dyed materials. Also, we believe we could reach to our goal of less chemical uses by using organic cotton more. And we believe that fair trade with our partners at fair prices will support our sustainable livings. And we think it's our job as well to sell these products at fair prices and share these values. Rather than crossing the ocean looking for cheaper production, we work with skilled local manufacturers. They are not anyone but our aunts and uncles, our fathers and mothers. By doing so, in our belief, we can shorten the distance of logistics, reduce carbon footprints, and contribute to the growth of the local economy and a healthy society. Also, when we look for someone to work with, we try to work with a variety of people from different backgrounds. When looking for a model, artist, designer, and etc. But within the common denominator of being someone who cares about nature, loves the earth, and can talk about literature and art. We shouldn't forget that we are able to do this meaningful work thanks to nature. I believe doing something for nature with our works is our another mission. So we plant trees in the forest for reforestation in Korea and participate in a cultural festival to spread positive messages and support environmental movement organization and donate to charity. We hope to do something better to nature and society that we live in. Because our business is trying to pursue sustainability, we've started to have a great interest in digitization, and many people in the fashion industry are practicing sustainability through technology. So I also believe that this might be one of the positive solutions to reduce the impact on the environment. Here, I will finish screen sharing. As we prepared for HFW 2020, fortunately, we were able to join the Digital Fashion Week. During this time, I read various articles and watched YouTube and learned how much digital technology has developed, how it affects our lives now, and what solutions are available for us. Let's talk about this now. In this lockdown of COVID-19, it doesn't seem surprising that the digital market is growing. People who have to spend more time at home spend more time shopping online and consuming digital contents than ever before. This changes of lifestyle is shifting purchasing items and patterns. And the survey is interesting that the demand for fashion as content, known as real clothes, is increasing. The fashion industry is responding to this change, communicating with people with new 3D digital contents and enriching online shopping experience with digital fitting services. It's so exciting to hear that technologies are being developed that can provide interactive and immersive experiences beyond just passive communication that consumes digital content from brands. I've worked as a fashion designer for nearly 2 decades. For me, fashion design was to make clothes that I choose a fabric, cut it, sew it, and button it up. So to me, this Helsinki fashion it was a completely new experience. After selecting the fabric and designing, we prepared all the information digitally for a 3D designer to work on. We took pictures to convey the information of the materials and explained the softness, sheerness, weight, hardness, and density of the fabric. I converted the colors of our materials into RGB and talked how to deal with the finishing process of the clothes. For our digital transformation, we worked with Scotoma Lab in France and Studio PMS in Dutch, and the final works was done with NDA in France. While we are collaborating with them, I was called the traditional fashion designer, and I wasn't sure that whether I deserved to be called. And there were difficulties of time difference and the limit of the distance, of course, but the experience was so inspiring, especially collaboration with the Studio PMS was so encouraging. They could pick up something potential from our design and developed it to a totally new look. During this preparation, I felt that we could efficiently reduce the amount of fabric waste if a digital sample completely replaced the physical one. I could also expect reduced carbon footprint caused by the transportation of physical materials. And in future fashion show, I've started to believe that we could anticipate people's demand through virtual dressing room, enabling efficient inventory management. However, any industry will have its own side effects as it expands. The use of power water resources for the data center and natural ecosystem destroyed by mining for digital devices. And the e-waste remain our concerns despite the expectation that we still reduce carbon footprint in industries such as logistics and automotive. Luckily, we are able to start Open Plan based on the know-how and the knowledge that the pioneers ahead of us gained in the pursuit of sustainable fashion. And I feel like we stand at the doorstep of a new era, a digital era. Digital will be our future, that no one can deny. But I'd like to say, let's not forget the place we have to live in is nature, not a digital. You know, nothing can be 100% sustainable. So sometimes it sounds impossible, but I believe it's all about making choices, right choices. As a creator on Earth and as the designer of Open Plan, I will constantly try to find ways to have minimal impact to nature. For last, I will finish my talk by saying this. We are the first generation of DigiSapiens, who are the last generation to stop climate crisis. Thank you for listening.